I just want to give these files to Link and then I'm out of here.
Anyway, I don't know where your Mr. Lafferty is. I'm sorry about that, dear. Oh, darling, Ellie is meeting this morning with Gavin Kruger because he's just went on and on and on last night about how wonderful all her proposals were. Would you like to know?
Well, if Gavin thinks Ellie is so wonderful, why is she still in Oakdale and Emily is over in Switzerland getting the grand tour of his base of operations? Hi, where have you been?
Oh, just working out the horses.
Looks like they gave you the workout.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to court to testify today, and I don't know when I'll be back, so would you bring these over to Cal's?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Thanks.
You going to be meeting us out there later on?
Well, that really all depends on how the day goes. But, tell you what, why don't we plan to work together anyway? How about over dinner at my condo?
You're the boss. I'll just put these inside.
Okay.
Oh, Pussycat, I'm so glad you're making dates with cute guys like Link. I really am. Last night at the yacht club, I was upset seeing you and Holden together. I thought I felt that old electricity darting around, and it worried me.
Mother, whatever electricity you thought you saw was just two people who will always care about each other. We enjoy spending time together. We're friends, that's all.
Care to put that in writing? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
I'm going to make you some breakfast, young man. You hardly touched your supper last night.
Sounds good.
Obviously very upset. Seeing Lily with Colin? Yes?
I asked Kim Hughes about it, Mama. She told me how he treated Sabrina when they were married. The guy's after Lily's money, just like Derek was, and I don't want to see her get hurt again.
Holden, Lily has Iva and the rest of us to look after her. She is not your concern now.
I know. I'm beginning to think that Lily's always going to be my concern.
So did you and Lily have a good time last night at the yacht club?
Well, yes and no. Holden Snyder was there when we arrived. I got the distinct impression she'd rather be with him than me. But I didn't say anything. I kept it light and happy like you suggested.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
There you go.
Crowley, don't you ever go home?
Good morning, Duncan.
Thank you.
By the way, I noticed the alarm system was on when I arrived. I thought you wanted it off during business hours.
I did, but after all the strange goings-on while I was in Toronto, I decided to leave it on 24 hours a day.
Oh.
It's probably a delivery. Clifford will get it.
All right. I'll check it. Let's see. That's no delivery. It's Gavin Kruger.
Oh, Loretta, thank you so much for coming from New York to testify. I really appreciate it.
It's no problem, Sean. I just hope I can be of some help. I never did understand what you saw in Gail.
Are you sure you don't recognize the new witness Jessica Griffin added this morning?
Charles Pryor? Well, he must just be a friend of Sean's.
Well, I hope he's not from Lakeview Towers. I know Griffin had their records subpoenaed yesterday after we adjourned. And I've got to tell you, it really worries me that she subpoenaed Tonio Reyes, too. I don't like surprises.
Jerry, I told you. Tonio fixed things with the bookkeeper over at the Lakeview. He's certainly not going to say anything to damage my case. I mean, besides the fact that he really cares about me, he knows that if I lose this thing, there's just no way I can ever pay him back all the money he loaned me to pay the advance on your fee.
Well, that may be all well and good, but the fact remains he's going to be under oath. A big part of our case is your claim that Sean left you so emotionally scarred that you're not able to even look at another man. And if Reyes admits that you and he have been involved, then it's going to severely discredit your testimony, not to mention that you could be facing perjury charges.
Look, Jerry, if it'll make you feel better, I will go out and see if Tonio's here yet and talk to him, all right?
I don't care what kind of promises you made to Gail Kincaid. If Jessica Griffin put you on the stand and asked you about her relationship with you, you tell the truth.
You know, Fred, if Gail loses this case, I lose the $25,000 I loaned her.
That's not the money. Now listen to me. You are on very thin ice with the DA's department. They still think you perjured yourself in the Barbara Ryan trial. Don't give them any reason to suspect you're doing it again, Tonio, because I guarantee you they will not let you get away with it. That means you could very well go to jail, my friend. Is Miss Kincaid really worth that? For light and flaky pie crusts, Crisco is the recipe for success.
Hello, Gail. Hi. I think you know my lawyer, Fred Greer. Excuse me, I have to check in with my office.
So sorry you've been dragged into this. I guess you know that a lot of my case is writing in the testimony.
Yes, but remember, you don't want us to be seen like this, remember?
I've been thinking about what you talked about with me yesterday about my relocating here, maybe getting a job at your TV station. And the more I think about it, the more it sounds like
I don't think we should talk about this now.
Ladies and gentlemen, court is about to begin.
I'm going to wait for Fred. Why don't you go ahead in?
All right,
All right, this court is now in session. Case number 20963, Kincaid versus Baxter. The Honorable Judge Ruth Foreman presiding.
Be seated. Miss Griffin, are you ready to proceed with your defense?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls Ms. Loretta Ames.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Miss Ames, please explain to the court how you know the defendant, Sean Baxter.
I was his neighbor in New York City. I lived in the apartment just next door to him. I actually became fairly close with his younger sister, Courtney. She'd drop by my place a lot on weekends when I wasn't working.
Do you also know the plaintiff, Gail Kincaid?
Yes, although I must say Gail was never very friendly to me.
During the time you were acquainted with Miss Kincaid, to the best of your knowledge, was she employed?
No, she never worked during the time she lived with Sean. I remember the first time I met her, I asked her what she did for a living, and she said she didn't work because taking care of Sean and the apartment was a full-time job. Although I certainly never saw any evidence of it. The only person I ever saw doing the laundry or bringing home groceries was Sean.
Did you ever hear Mr. Baxter or Miss Kincaid arguing?
Objection. Irrelevant, Your Honor.
Miss Griffin, where are you going with this?
Your Honor, I am trying to establish that Miss Kincaid was not the loving, devoted companion to Mr. Baxter she claims to have been.
All right, I'll let you pursue this a little bit further. Objection overruled. You may answer the question, Miss Ames.
Yes. I heard Sean and Gail arguing a lot. As I said, they were right next door and the walls were pretty thin.
Did you ever see any evidence to indicate that Mr. Baxter had physically abused Miss Kincaid in any way?
No, never.
Did Mr. Baxter indicate to you in any way that he intended to marry Miss Kincaid?
Not once. In fact, the morning he was leaving New York City to take the job here, I recall he told me he was very happy to be relocating because he felt physically moving away from New York City was really the only way to get away from Gail.
Thank you, Miss Ames. No further questions.
Mr. Gifford, do you wish to cross-examine?
No, Your Honor.
You may step down, Miss Ames.
Ellie will be here in 1 moment.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you read those contest entries that I gave you last night?
I glanced at them, darling, and I will reread them, and I will give you my 3 picks for the favor.
No. That's what we have a panel of judges for. Now, I've got a great idea. Why don't we announce the winner at a big party at the Yacht Club? Maybe some cocktails, some dinner, some dancing.
The Yacht Club, feathering your own nest every minute.
You're right. Let's not do it at the Yacht Club. We'll do it at the Mona Lisa or the Lakeview Towers. Give the business to Lisa or Tonio.
Okay, you made your point.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, my call's forwarded here. Now, listen, what's this? Kurt tells me you want to plot a new strategy for Gavin. We can't do anything till we get feedback from him.
Ellie's right. I think we ought to get back to our old duties, especially inside Oakdale.
Oh, no, I think Ed Saunders is taking care of that perfectly, adequately. No, I want to keep you on Gavin exclusively until you sign and seal and deliver him. Hello. Good morning. Yes, she is. Hang on a moment. Ellie, it's Gavin for you. Me? Oh,
talk to him and get him over here so we can all talk together.
No, he said that he wanted to meet me one-on-one, Lucinda.
I don't care what he said. Do as he said.
Hello, Gavin. Oh, we're still on for this morning.
I know, but I'd like to meet a little later. Why don't we have lunch together? Are you avoiding being alone with me? All right. I'll see you at Lucinda's about 11 o'clock. Okay. Bye. I have one more local call to make, a man named Tonio Reyes. He's been leaving some messages with Jade. I understand he runs a management consultant firm here.
Believe me, you don't want to have anything to do with Tonio Reyes. He built his new business on money that he got from James Stenbeck.
Oh, Duncan, to be completely fair, you don't have any proof of that.
No, not yet, but I will. I think that Richard Terrell in Toronto has been laundering money for Reyes. Money that was left behind by Stenbeck in Swiss bank accounts. That's why I was asking you the other night at dinner about Terrell. I'm also less than thrilled that Crowley here is going to paint Tonio's portrait. As I told you, the only reason he commissioned you for that job was to pump you for information about my activities.
And as I told you, I find that less than flattering.
And Duncan, you know, if you could just be civil to Colin for just one eensy-weensy little moment, he might turn the tables on Tonio and do some spying for us.
Perhaps. If you're nice to me, Duncan.
Fine. I will be happy to pay you for any information you can provide me, and we all know that you could use the money.
Yes. Well, on that note, I think I'll be off.
Could you get that?
Certainly. The Keckney residence? Who is this? It's the Whistler again. Same tune.
Cal's not here. He and Mom are out somewhere. Did you get the hot water fixed yet? No, you go into town. I'll come over and take it with her for a while. Oh, wait, here they are. Hold on a second. It's Caleb on the phone. He wants to know if you guys need anything from town.
Yeah, I'll scream.
Thanks for using your shower, Cal. No, I just need you to deposit that check for me, that's all. All right, then. Adios, son. Miss Emma? You want to tell me what's got you so, pensive? That's French.
I'm disappointed. Thought you were talking naughty. Come over here, sit down, I'll tell you. You know, when Holden came back from London, and I told you that he and Angel were having problems. Well, it was a lot more serious than I let on. He doesn't want anyone else to know, but he said I could tell you. It seems that things are so bad between him and Angel that she made him move out of the house. And now, Henry Lang has suspended his job.
Well, that's awful hard news to old Henry. What's the problem?
Angel thinks that Holden still has feelings for Lily.
Well, I mean, it's hard to miss for anybody who's paying attention.
And she insists that he has to get over his feelings, he has to be honest about it before she's going to let him move back into the house.
Well, do you think he'll ever be able to promise that, Emma?
I think he'd like to.
Anybody here?
Hey, Lincoln! Hey, you look like you're ready to do some serious work.
Yes, sir.
Well, I've got work to do. I'm going to leave you men. Don't you read my mail then.
This is royal bills.
Lily asked me to give you these files. She's going to try to make it over here after court, and then she and I are going to go work some over dinner tonight at her condo.
Hi, Hank. Hey. Listen, I'm going to go over and check that water heater, all right?
All right. Hey, you remind your mama I offered to buy her a new one.
I will.
So you and the defendant have worked together for 10 months, and during that time, Mr. Baxter became a full partner?
Yes.
Would you please describe for the court the kind of man you know Mr. Baxter to be?
Well, he's very hardworking, responsible, very caring.
Have you ever witnessed any violent outbursts from Mr. Baxter?
No, absolutely not.
But you do know of the incident where he is accused of assaulting Tonio Reyes?
Yes, and I blame myself for that in large part. Sean didn't want to confront Tonio. I thought it was a good idea. I don't know exactly what happened, but I do know that Tonio has picked fights with a number of people, including my father.
Objection. Hearsay.
I withdraw the question, Your Honor. I have no further questions for this witness.
Mr. Gibbard. Miss Walsh, did Mr. Baxter use you to finance buying into his partnership with Montgomery and Associates?
Well, I offered him the money to buy into the partnership, and he accepted, if that's what you mean.
A sizable sum of money. What kind of terms did you establish for repayment of this loan? What interest are you charging the defendant?
I'm not charging him any interest.
No interest. You mean you lent Mr. Baxter all that money without asking for anything in return?
No, that's not quite true. I was a novice in the business world, and Sean had a lot of professional experience. In return for my money, I got his professional expertise.
Are you now, or have you ever been sexually involved with a defendant?
Objection. Irrelevant.
I think it's very relevant, Your Honor. I'd like to prove that Sean Baxter uses women to suit his own ends.
I'll allow the question. Objection overruled. Please answer, Miss Walsh.
No, Sean and I have never been anything but good friends and business partners. I had hoped that sometime the relationship might develop into more. In fact, I let Sean know that I was interested, no strings attached. He could have taken advantage of the situation, but he didn't, because he's very much in love with Franny Hughes.
We're going to have to start this dinner without...
Dinner at the...
No, really. I mean, I find that impossible to believe. We don't have any illustrator in-house who can do that cover. No, it's got to relate to the Lombard article. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get some freelance guy. No, I have an idea about somebody. Let me try, and then I'll get back to you. Bye-bye. Well, children, carry on. I'm going to go and speak to Rosa about food. We don't want Gavin to have tummy upset because of one of Rosa's jalapeno concoctions.
Kirk, do you get the impression she specifically does not want us to be with Gavin for some other reason?
Yes, I get that impression, but since we're able to spend so much time with each other, I'm not going to make waves about it. I had fun at dinner last night, but Holmes seemed a little down, didn't he? Is he okay?
No, he's not okay. I think him and Angel are having a lot of problems, and he doesn't want anyone to know about this. I think he feels guilty, like he married her out of the wrong reasons to get over Lily.
Yeah, well, from what I've seen, there's still a lot of charged particles between the two of them.
No, he can't stay with Angel if he doesn't love her. Just out of a sense of obligation, that's not fair to Angel or their daughter, Noelle. There's some kind of connection between him and Lily. I mean, maybe, do you believe in destiny? Maybe it's destiny. Maybe I'm a hopeless romantic, maybe.
Maybe you are. And you know what? I think that after all we've been through and all we've overcome, that we're destined too.
You have to accept that I'm married to Derek now, and I love him very much. And I know Angel loves you with all her heart. If you just give her the chance, Holden, I really believe she could make you happy. Holden, it's time to go. The plane is waiting. Unless you would rather stay here, I could always go to Chicago.
No, I'm ready to go. There's nothing here for me anymore.
Right then.
Angel, I want to say something to you. I'm going to be the best husband I can possibly be to you.
You know, you made me the happiest girl in the world when you married me, but I think I love you even more for saying that.
What you doing here? Did you get that boiler fixed?
Yes, I did. I just thought that I'd come out here for a while.
I told Cal the real reason you came home.
That's okay, Mama. I told you it was all right.
Okay. You know, Holden, I've been thinking a lot about you and Lily.
And I know that the two of you were very, very close. Your feelings were very, very strong for each other, and I know that you always feel that way about each other, but a lot has happened to both of you. You're very, very different people now. And you know, even if you were to divorce Angel, it doesn't necessarily mean that you and Lily could get back together.
I know that, Mama.
Of course, I have to tell you, you know, she's been seeing Colin, and I think there's a very strong attraction to Link as well.
And what do you think of him, Link?
Well, I don't know. I don't know him very well. He seems like a very nice man. He keeps pretty much to himself. Yeah. That way he kind of reminds me of you a little. And before you say it, I guess that is one of the reasons Lily might be attracted to him. But there's a very big difference between Link and you, Holden. Link is a free man. You're not.
Charles Cryer?
It's Tonio's doorman.
Terrific.
No, it'll be okay. Tonio said he took care of
Raise
it.
your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
You may be seated, Mr. Cryer.
Please state your occupation, Mr. Cryer.
I'm a doorman at 120 East Shore Drive.
Does Mr. Tonio Reyes live in that building?
Yes, he does, in the penthouse.
Do you recognize the plaintiff, Gail Kincaid?
Yes. She's been to the building on several occasions.
Do you know what tenant she was there to see?
Mr. Reyes.
When was the last time you saw Miss Kincaid at 120 East Shore Drive?
Yesterday. Mr. Reyes wasn't at home, though. The lady went up to his apartment alone. She had a set of keys. Said she needed to pick up something that she left. She was only up there a few minutes.
And before yesterday, when was the last time you saw the plaintiff?
A couple of nights ago, around dinner time. She and Mr. Reyes went up to the apartment together.
And when did Miss Kincaid leave the building?
Objection, Your Honor. This whole line of questioning is irrelevant.
Your Honor, Miss Kincaid has stated that she was so deeply damaged when her relationship with Mr. Baxter ended that she has been unable to have an emotional involvement with any other man. I intend to show this is not the case.
All right. I'm going to allow you to continue with the question.
Thank you. Mr. Cryer, on the occasion you just mentioned, when did you see Miss Kincaid leave the building?
The next morning, just before I went off duty, she and Mr. Reyes left together.
So Miss Kincaid spent the night in Mr. Reyes' apartment. Had that ever happened before while you were on duty?
Yes. She spent the night up there a few times.
Thank you, Mr. Cryer. Your witness, Counselor.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
You may step down, Mr. Cryer. Miss Griffin, are you ready with your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense calls Tonio Reyes to the stand.
Tonio Reyes?
Hello, Charles.
I'm sorry, Mr. Reyes. I had to tell the truth.
I see the truth of this thing.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. It's a dream vacation for Reva and Josh until Reva sees red and Josh's worst nightmare begins. This week on Guiding Light. And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
You know, Duncan, I think Gavin's right. I think we should have the police put a tracer on our telephone so we can find out who that mysterious whistler is.
I'd give the police another reason to laugh at us after the incident with the portraits and the bloody disappearing body at the foot of the stairs. No thank you, Lassie.
You know, I've been looking through this. It's so funny. There's so many pictures of me and my Uncle Earl in Portofino, but not a one of you.
You know me, Mr. Anonymity.
Yes. Which makes me so surprised that you're so enamored of that PR campaign that Ellie's going to be doing. It seems that the purpose of that is to make your name a household word.
Well, Ellie's got a point. Americans like to know the face behind the product. They like that personal connection. I'm impressed with Ellie. I think she's very bright. Is she and Kirk Anderson serious?
Very.
What's Emily Stewart's story? Is she involved with anyone at the moment?
No, I don't think so, but I think it's still a little early. See, she was supposed to marry somebody else last winter.
Brock Lombard. Yeah, that's too bad. I recall she was involved with James Stenbeck, too.
That was a very long time ago. She was very young.
Speaking of Stenbeck, do you really think that Tonio Reyes has some kind of tap on his Swiss accounts?
I'm sure of it. I think that Tonio Reyes has no scruples, and I also think that Tonio Reyes and James Stenbeck crawled out from under the same rock.
Interesting. I can't wait to meet him.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter these items as evidence. This gold pin with the initials GK engraved on the back, which was found in Mr. Reyes' bed. This receipt from Sims Jewelers that shows Mr. Reyes purchased the pin. This piece of paper with Miss Kincaid's name, New York address, and telephone number on it. And finally, Miss Kincaid's bill for her room at the Lakeview Towers.
All right, Miss Griffin, all evidence will be duly entered.
Mr. Reyes, do you know the plaintiff, Gail Kincaid?
Yes, we met about a month ago at the Mona Lisa. When I found out the reason that she was in town, I asked her to appear as a guest on Patterns. That's a television show on the local television station I own, WOAK.
Mr. Reyes, why did you arrange to pay for Miss Kincaid's hotel room at that time?
That was part of our agreement for her appearance.
I was under the impression that Patterns doesn't pay its guests to appear on the show.
Well, she would have to stay in town a few extra days to do the show, and I thought it would be only fair that I at least cover her expenses.
What about this gold pin? Did you give it to her?
Yes, I did.
Well, it can't be part of the payment for her appearance on Patterns since it was purchased long after she was on the show. So I can assume it was a gift?
Yes, of course.
I see. Mr. Reyes, why are you currently paying all Miss Kincaid's expenses for a luxury suite at the Lakeview?
Well, I know that she's going through a difficult time, and she's somewhat short of funds, so I thought I would try to help her out.
The doorman at your building has testified that Miss Kincaid stayed overnight in your apartment on several occasions. Is that true? Mr. Reyes.
Yes, that's true.
And on those occasions, did you and Miss Kincaid engage in sexual relations?
Yes, we did.
So when the portraits were finally returned, Duncan's must have had some moisture or something because it was starting to peel. And luckily Colin was here to restore it.
Mr. Crowley certainly gets around. Yesterday he was at Lucinda Walsh's authenticating a painting for her.
Well, wherever there's money, you can be sure that Crowley will be sniffing around.
Duncan.
Shannon, I'm sorry, but I don't understand why you can't see Crowley's true colors. You know he married Sabrina Hughes for money, and now he's latched on to Lily for the same reason.
Just let's not talk about him when he's not here to defend himself.
Gavin, we really should head over to Mrs. Walsh's.
Right. Although I hate leaving you. I mean, with everything that's been going on here.
All right, well, I have to get to the office myself.
Okay, but here, don't forget these. These are police sketches of the woman that Colin and I found and the man that Duncan found on the stairs. We're going to run them in the Argus. Hopefully somebody will recognize them.
I've seen that face before.
Really? Do you know where?
No, I'm sorry, I don't. I travel so much, it could have been almost anywhere, but I have seen it.
Do you recognize him, Jade?
Sorry, I've never seen him before.
Well, I know I have. The question is where?
This is wonderful. Now,
I'm sorry about Mrs. Laura, though. Is she going to be better soon? I hope so. There you are. And John Singer Sargent's English Garden's mine, all mine.
Mrs. Walton, as I mentioned the other day, I'd prefer that you wouldn't publicize this acquisition, at least for a few months, until I've been able to sell the other paintings.
No. I never publicize acquisitions. My insurance company wouldn't like it. Do you plan to try to sell the other paintings here in Oakdale?
It's possible. I have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Antonio Reyes.
Oh, now look, I'm afraid that he hasn't got the kind of sophisticated taste that would go for constables and turners. No way. But there is somebody in town, an industrialist who lives in Switzerland. His name is Gavin Kruger, at the Lakeview Towers. He expressed interest in the paintings when he saw them in my office yesterday.
Oh, I thank you. I'll look him up.
Good. All right. Fine. Very nice doing business with you. Can you show yourself out?
Certainly. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Good day.
All right. Call Jane. She said everything's fine at the office.
Good. Now, before Gavin gets here,
Yeah?
I have something to say.
Hello.
Hi, darling.
How are you doing, Lucinda?
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Come along. See it. Tell me how to hang it.
Well, that's why I came by to see if you had.
Yes.
It's exquisite, isn't it? I think you've really made a wonderful investment here.
Well, if I have, darling, it's because of your expert eye. Look, I'm glad you dropped by because I was going to give you a call. I need a rush illustration job done for Inside Oakdale, the magazine. It's a cover, and I thought perhaps you'd be able to do it. Now, this is very hush-hush, and I don't want anybody to know, not even my daughter.
Mum's the word. What is it you want me to do?
It relates to the lead article. It's about Philip Lombard. He's a gangster. You might do it in Grisaille. Come to my office, all right? And I'll show you some photographs of him. She's awful chummy with Colin these days. She's his biggest supporter.
Oh, yeah. Just when Holden walks back into Lily's life, too. What a coincidence.
Well, now, my bluebird houses are right over there. I'm going to go check on them, and I'm going to let you walk the rest of the way, Cal's, by yourself. Okay. Are you all right? You know, my beautiful, beautiful Lily, I worry a little bit about you sometimes.
Oh, everybody is worrying about me these days. You and Iva and Lucinda. I really wish you wouldn't. I'm finally beginning to realize that I've got a lot to be thankful for, and it's silly. Maybe it's even greedy to waste my time wanting things that I can't have. I'm really happier now than I have been in a long time.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm very happy to hear that because your happiness means a lot to me. It does.
I love you.
I love you.
I really do have a lot to be thankful for. Hi.
Hi. How'd it go in court?
Oh, very well. I'm heading over to Cal's to do a couple hours work with him and Link.
Well, I guess I'll see you later.
Holden, do you know when Henry Lang's due back?
No. Why?
Well, I was going to throw you a little goodbye party. A real Snyder send-off. Because I don't know when you'll be back again.
You know I'm not too big on parties, Lily. I think it'll be best if I just leave and do it quietly.
Holden?
What?
Nothing. See you.
I'm really quite smitten by it.
Well, it's certainly one of a kind.
Yes.
Seeing it in the sunlight like this, though, it doesn't have much of a veneer. A painting this age would normally have a bit of a patina to it.
Yes, you know, I noticed that too. What it needs is a good cleaning, and I
What?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me that before I bought it?
It's very simple. I can do it for you on the house.
Thank you, Gavin. Take it out. Clean it, and then
Don't
bring
worry.
it back.
Don't worry, I'm off.
Thank you so much. Look, I thought maybe we could chat out here a moment and then go to the terrace and have something to eat. But I wanted to say something first because I'm a straight shooter. I'm as American as apple pie. You have Emily Stewart in Switzerland at the moment, and she's having access to the ins and outs of your business, and I think it would only be fair and just if you allowed someone from Walsh Enterprises a similar privilege.
You're absolutely right. Jade, make a note of that. Remind me.
Good. Thank you so much. Now, Ellie has been working day and night, and she has some wonderful new ideas about publicity for you and Kruger Enterprises.
Well, why don't you run them by me now? I'll think about them this afternoon, and I'll give you feedback over dinner tonight.
Your Honor, I urge you to remember that today we are not here to pass judgment on my client's relationship with Tonio Reyes. We are here today because Sean Baxter entered into an agreement with Gail Kincaid when he told her he loved her and wanted to marry her. That is the only reason Miss Kincaid ever agreed to live with Mr. Baxter, and that is the only reason she stayed in the relationship for almost 2 years, when she herself admits there were arguments and problems. Because in Gail Kincaid's mind, in her heart, she was already committed to this man for better or worse. But Mr. Baxter had no intention of keeping the promises he made. He used this woman, and when he no longer needed her, he just cast her off, leaving her financially destitute, economically destitute, emotionally scarred, and no longer equipped with the job skills necessary to find career pursuits. And if you have even the slightest doubt as to whether or not Sean Baxter used Gail Kincaid, I urge you to remember Donna Greenhill's testimony. And then you'll realize my client's only crime was loving the defendant, Sean Baxter, and believing the promises he made. Thank you.
Your Honor, Miss Kincaid has made several claims during these proceedings. She claims she was a full-time housekeeper to Sean and Courtney Baxter, and she also claims that Mr. Baxter proposed marriage to her. Yet she was unable to produce one single witness to verify either of those claims. In fact, her close friend Mrs. Carter even had to admit that she never once heard Mr. Baxter even mention the word marriage. Ms. Kincaid also claims that since her breakup with Mr. Baxter, she has been unable to find work. Yet we heard Mary Simpson testify that she offered Ms. Kincaid a job only a few months ago, and Ms. Kincaid turned her down, saying she was about to score a big windfall. And finally, Your Honor, we have Ms. Kincaid's claim that she has been unable to have a relationship with any man since her breakup with Sean Baxter. Yet, Tonio Reyes admitted that he and Ms. Kincaid have been sexually involved for 2 months now. Now, if we are to believe Mr. Reyes' testimony, and I see no reason to doubt it, Ms. Kincaid perjured herself in this courtroom. And if she lied about that claim, we can only begin to guess what else she has lied about. What we have here, Your Honor, is reasonable doubt. If you look at Miss Kincaid, what do you see? A young woman, healthy, certainly capable of supporting herself. She just doesn't want to. I submit that Sean Baxter is the victim here, not Gail Kincaid. And if I may borrow Mr. Gifford's phrasing, Sean Baxter's only crime was that he got involved with a lazy, greedy woman that only saw him as a meal ticket. Your Honor, he has paid dearly for that mistake. Let's not add insult to injury by asking him to pay any more. Thank you.
Order in the courtroom, please. Thank you, Miss Griffin. Mr. Gifford, this is a complex case, and I need time to review the testimony that's been presented before I make a ruling. I will inform both attorneys when I have made my decision. The court is adjourned until such time.
All rise.
Aye, Shannon and I will make sure that the alarm system's on before we leave. All right, I'll see you later. Clifford and the men are going to lunch.
Good. You know, I really wish you'd reconsider and let the police put a tracer on our phone.
Shannon, I didn't want to say anything in front of Gavin and the others, but I have my reasons for not having the police listening in on my conversations.
Oh, you mean your numerous spies? Or maybe it's Sawyer who's still tracing Lilith.
Among others.
Well, at least promise me you'll put those sketches in the Argus, won't you?
Yes, but I doubt it will do much good. Do you have your key for the alarm system?
Yes. You know, I like this place a lot better when it wasn't outfitted like Fort Knox.
I like it better that way, too. But right now we have to take some precautions. I couldn't believe Kruger's gall this morning.
Talking about
Questions about Emily and Ellie and their love life.
Oh, he wants...
Stay right here.
It looks like the same woman that Colin and I found.
Only this time there's a difference. She's not going anywhere. She's quite dead.
This pond is certainly pretty.
Lily, about what happened between us in the stables the other day.
I thought you didn't want to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, well, I think we need to, because things are getting all confused again. Like, how come we're working at your place tonight? I mean, why not at the office or a restaurant?
Well, we can if you prefer it. I just thought it would be more comfortable.
And what's with the sudden urge to go down to Houston with me to see Cal's plastics operation?
I thought it would be a good opportunity.
Honestly.
I am being honest. I've been meaning to go down there for some time to see that. And yes, I particularly like the idea of going down with you. Is that so terrible?
I think maybe you're so eager to get away is because Holden's here and you know he's married and you can't be with him.
Link, you're ridiculous.
Don't play games with me, Lily. That girl I told you about, she was using me to get away from something too.
I think you're reading too much into this.
Listen to me, damn it. Now, I know there's been something going on between us since we first met. Now, I want to know where we stand because I'm not about to be used like that ever again.
Link, let me go. You're hurting me.
Now, until you give me an answer.
You heard the lady. Let her go.
The critics... Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. Handbags and Belts by Oscar de la Renta. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns.